Hey everybody, welcome to State of the Giants. Today we're going to be reviewing The Boys, episode 7. So this is the 7th of 8 episodes this season. This is the penultimate episode of season 3. It's been a hell of a ride. Things kind of sort of slowed down a little bit this week, but went in an interesting direction. And we're going to talk about that today. Again, I'm Justin. This is my co-host.
Mike. I'm Mike. Yeah, State of the Giants. Yeah, if you we just want to mention to if you like our content or you have an opinion, or please, we'd love to hear it. Good or bad, up or down, left or right, doesn't matter. We don't care.
There's that like button.
Yeah, hit the like button, and if you could share our podcast if you like what you see, and tell us what you think, what your thoughts are on this season of the show. And it's a hell of a season. With that being said, when we open up, like, this one was a just from energy standpoint, I don't want to give away too many things at the top of the show, but energy wise, it felt like we had the peak last episode, because it was
Right.
Herogasm was action packed. It threw a lot of stuff our way. We actually had a taste of the showdown with everybody involved. I was not expecting that, to be honest. That was a nice surprise. There's a lot of nice surprises, but this one, anyway, this one was like way down low. And we actually had a little bit more payoff, I guess, from our main characters here, and discovering some surprises, some not so surprises. But what do you think of this one compared to last one?
Yeah, I think we hero-gasmed, and now we're having a refractory period.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think this was a bad episode by any means. I think there was some great character development, some good twists, but it was not my favorite episode of this season.
Yeah, no way. Didn't feel like, I don't know. I wouldn't be, I agree with you. It did not suck at all. It was not like that at all. It was just like, I guess we just needed downtime, I guess. Like, I don't want to call it filler, because filler would imply that the show quality would be lesser than, and that really wasn't the case here, as far as like nobody sucked acting or whatever, like there were no, it was just like you go from jumping on the highway, going hauling down the road, and then all of a sudden now like, now we got to do, school zones every block.
Right, exactly.
It's just a hard transition there, but here we are, and we are enjoying it. I agree with you. I haven't done it yet, because I didn't want to spoil anything. I want to find everything naturally, if it's there for me to pick up. Obviously, like, we haven't done a rewatch yet, and I don't know about you, but I'll definitely rewatch this season probably not too long after, just to enjoy it, or I might do that, or I might just go back and watch the good ones that I want. But we're on the doorstep of the final show. We knew this was coming, and I kind of wish they wouldn't have released. Didn't they release the first 3 episodes?
Yeah, they released the first 3 episodes in 1 week.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would have just done one.
It was effective. It was very effective marketing, though. They didn't make you wait to kind of get to the crux of the season.
Yeah, not long at all. But from where we started to where we are, it's completely different. They covered a lot of ground. I didn't think they would be able to cover this much, but here we are. So kind of getting into it, here the setup here. I'm just gonna remind myself. Or actually, no, I don't need to. Like, what was the one notes that jumped out at you that you made?
Right. So I went ahead and made a list of story notes just to kind of help our conversation today. Like, because I know it's now nearly a week since the episode aired, I forget about stuff. So let's see. First story note got here. Starlight exposes Homelander.
Yeah. Oh, she did. Oh, holy shit, she did. Yeah.
Homelander is being an ass, and he's being abusive and sort of vindictive and bullying, but she's got her phone and it's running, and he's already kind of in this situation where like they don't really talk about it outside, like talk about the show, but I get the impression he's probably very, and this is not just what thinks, but Homelander is probably very polarizing. There are probably people who like absolutely love Homelander, and then there are probably some people who are very suspicious of Homelander. You see the hashtag, what is it? Vought lied, people died. So yeah. And this is more kind of, in a way, this is his kryptonite. The fact that the idea that people won't just like love and adore him unconditionally.
Yeah, and we there comes a point in time like where you're like where people are threatened, and this is kind of like a theme of the show, where people are threatened to the point to where then they kind of take stock of like really what the situation is for them. And I mean, just Homelander, the character, is just permanent death walking around, essentially. Like you're just dead, you're a dead person walking, you're a dead man walking. This is how it is. And like, but Starlight burns through all that. She didn't care. She truly does not care anymore about the either this or that, because you know she's, I guess, I don't know, putting herself like she's. We've also seen her character evolve over the course of the show. She definitely hasn't had as much screen time as she used to have,
Right.
but it's kind of increasing here because they have to, by virtue of the story, fold her into, you know, this downfall, this pursuit of Homelander and taking him down, taking him out. And she's been surprisingly pivotal. Like I was wondering how they were gonna develop that whole Instagram, whatever they call it, was like a coup de grace. I mean, I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming, but it's crazy. And what I pulled up here is like it's funny how they mirror reality into the show for marketing. They know what they're doing.
Yeah,
sure.
their marketing game, whoever who's running their marketing team and coming up with all this stuff, they're great. They're doing like Hollywood quality, like basically shit post videos. It's kind of very kind of like augmented reality game kind of like feel to it. Like people predicting things based on like little 15-second videos that are put up. Like there are people who live and eat and breathe this show. And this is a show that appreciates and rewards people like that.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I haven't even bothered to go back. I will after the show's over. I will go back and I'll because I'll be hungry for more boys content, like every other maniac boys fan. But and I'll probably go and I'll revisit the and I'll put a link in the description later for the YouTube channel for Vought News Network or something like that. It's like their Fox News equivalent or something like that, or CNN, what have you. I think it tends to be more anyway. Kind of going into that and back to the show. So and he is caught off flat-footed. So I don't know. Like I mean, in the comic book, I haven't read all the comic book. I've just been exposed to like the storyline in general, kind of back and forth. And there is a part in time like where in the comic book, Homelander goes essentially just doesn't care anymore. And then pushes through that the ultimate threat, you know, like which is like what happens with Homelander, you know, just going off the deep end. And it seems to be like a countdown. Somebody started a clock, it seems, or it kind of feels like. And I wonder how they're going to fill out the last episode. But anyway, kind of, what are your thoughts on that? And Homelander, kind of like, do you think he's going to go nuts and, you know, just start tearing through?
No, I don't think we're there yet. I think that I don't know. Maybe we end up getting kind of a Emperor Palpatine. What maybe maybe to use an analogy, maybe Homelander and Soldier Boy do like a Vader Luke thing, and maybe they. Although I don't think that necessarily happens because both of them, I think their egos are too big for that.
Yeah. It was. That's a great analogy. I didn't think about that because you're of course you're. I assume you're talking about.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Well, no, not that one. No,
okay,
I'm going along with your analogy of that's perfect with Anakin and Palpatine, Senator Palpatine. Before he was the emperor, like before he reveals himself to be the Sith, the real puppet master, as it were. And I don't know. Yeah. And you said, going on to your next point, he also threatens Maeve, and I might be out of order here or whatever, but
Yeah, you were saying we were talking about Homelander threatening Maeve.
yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, he's essentially threatened Starlight's the only one that's been able to return the serve to him and kind of step to him as an equal, essentially, and he hates that. Anyway, but we find out where Maeve is in this episode.
Yeah, Maeve is being held against her will in some type of facility, which I assume is kind of like an Arkham asylum type place.
Yeah, that's what I got too. Like it was some kind of deep freeze, like where that's where I can't think of the DC equivalent. If I was a better comic book fan, I'd be able to pull that out. But
is it
it was like
prison or
no, I was thinking more like the and I might be screwing this up. I'm a poor Marvel DC fan, but like essentially like where they're in negative zone or something like that. Like where they hold them. I can't remember. I think they both have both of those comic books. Anyway, the point is like it's a black hole that nobody knows about. I saw it as
being more like an Arkham asylum, like a place where maybe they keep soups who have kind of like gone rogue.
Contain them,
keep them contained. So it's like that, or what's the Marvel equivalent? Like, don't they have a prison where they keep superheroes or supervillains in Marvel?
Yeah, that's what I think. I thought it was DC, but I think what I was really thinking of was Marvel and the Fantastic Four, and they have a prison for that, or maybe Shield does. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, like, I agree with that. Like, it'll be interesting to see if that place comes back. Aside from like springing Maeve, maybe if they even can do that. Or if she can join the fight in time, probably not. But that'd probably be season 4. But that was interesting there. And essentially they have this back and forth of threatening, menacing, threatening, glaring, Homelander at his worst. And it's essentially, matter of fact, I'm going to make you into a human, a superhuman Homelander baby making factory, essentially. To harvest her eggs and to do that, and so basically put her in fresh hell. But she's caught up there, and what do you think? Where do you think that they might have put that as far as it goes?
What's that? The location?
Yeah. Do you think we've already seen it or been there before?
No, I know we went to the facility, the holding facility for the kids who had like the sort of kind of like I guess it's like a mental hospital.
Right. Like
the fighter was working, and the girl. Oh, speaking of which, like there was like something on social media about the girl with her hair shaved. I feel like she has to come into this at some point. Like I feel like maybe that's a story point that wasn't touched this season, but we may see next season.
I think you might be right. I barely remember that. I'm not gonna lie. But good call out.
So there's no telling what it is. I would assume it's somewhere. It's somewhere I would assume that is close to New York, but is not too far away that you couldn't. Well, I guess if you're talking superheroes, they can get there quickly because like some of them can move very fast, I guess.
Yeah, and we haven't really talked about like the technology level of the general world. It kind of assumed that they're parallel with us, but who knows if they have some kind of I don't know MacGuffin device or something. But in any case, moving on.
Let's see. A-Train is alive.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Not only that, but he has he was a recipient of an organ donation. An unwilling organ donation. So he has to kind of live with knowing that this person who he hates is kind of a part of him now. Or that, superhuman too. Superhuman heart for his. I guess he had a weak ass heart before, but not anymore. So he's going to be sticking around after he recovers, I assume. But who knows? They're probably pumping him full of Compound V.
Yeah. and then Ashley is reminding him that like it's like, well, you're still here, you still belong to us, you're nothing without us.
Yeah, she has become I'm really surprised at her acting too, the actress who plays
Yeah,
her. Like she's become like she's kind of totally done a 180 from being a mouse to essentially being a Homeland, little mini Homelander,
yeah.
little mini Hitler, as it were. Like she just totally owns that position now. And I'm not there were some other I thought there was another scene too, or part of that scene where she basically tells them all, like, what else did he lose or gain? He gained the heart,
Right.
and took care of like all his issues or whatever. Like basically, that's what it was. It was
Yeah.
her basically like, here's what happened. Here's what you're gonna say, and here are your lines, sir. Learn them very quickly. And by the way, we still own you,
Yes.
and we're cleaning up your messes too. So, and of course, he kind of looks like, it's kind of hard to decipher how he felt about it, but I don't know. I think he was not expecting to wake up for sure. That's
So
all.
yeah, I wonder where they go with this character now.
What was your overall opinion of him as a character to follow, just to in general, this
Um,
season?
his storyline in general is just not the most interesting. Also, uh, I will say that he's very important in this sense. He at this point, he's a lot of what he does is for the main story is he is sort of like he's a landmark.
Right.
So remember, Huey has superpowers now. If he really wanted revenge on A Train, he could have killed A Train by this point. Remember, until recently, A Train is running on a heart that could explode at any moment. He could have totally taken A Train out and then walked away.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
but he doesn't care about getting revenge on A Train. He doesn't care about Robin. He's gotten into just this thrill of being kind of a god and getting out there and just like doing all of this, the very same types of things that got Robin killed, that kind of got him embroiled in
Right.
all of this. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what A Train has kind of done. I know we've done some social commentary with A Train, but mostly what we've established about A Train is that he's a piece of shit and he doesn't care about anyone himself. And then he tries this quote unquote selfless act, but it's not really selfless because he's trying to get revenge.
Yep. Yep.
Basically, he's been able to get the revenge that Huey didn't get.
Yeah, and it's funny too because Huey, I agree with you. I kind of felt like when they had that scene at in the middle of the hero-gasm, in the middle of that party, I kind of felt like the next move was like Huey giving Huey justification if he reacted like an asshole to him, to just like punch, just because obviously Huey has like some kind of hell of a super durability or something,
Right.
and aside from like being completely naked when he when he
Hey, Mike, your mic. I can't hear you.
All right, on with the show. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're a little
Yeah, I'm gonna try to switch it up here to a better microphone here. But like, I'm gonna mute myself and I'll let you keep going because of that. Keep the show going.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, yeah, Mike is right. Huey is at a point where like he's got to confront A Train. He knows that he can confront A Train on equal ground because he now has powers from Temp V. And he's looking for A Train to like do something to provoke him so that he can kill him. But just then A Train gives an actual sincere apology, shows some empathy, and is contrite, and that takes Huey's taken aback, and he's actually a little bit disappointed about that because he was looking forward to being able to just like because where he punches A Train anyway.
Right. Yeah, but
he's like
taking his heart out. He just goes for a classic, right. Like I hate you anyway. and A Train takes it. A Train. So you kind of see this like, maybe there's some character development but not really.
Yeah. We'll see. He's always been, honestly, he's always been one of, like, he's never been one of like the main storylines. He's kind of a secondary character.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with
That
that.
is what you will.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this picture, since we got this here, next item is Black Noir's backstory, which is told in a very, it's kind of like David Lynch's The Boys.
That's a good way to put it.
Who Framed
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit?
I was going to say that. Yeah, definitely some weird. He definitely got hit in the head quite a few times, and I guess apparently he sees these always with him. Well, all these superheroes were essentially ripped from their parents, or something happened to their parents, and essentially became their parents. So they all didn't grow up they all grew up screwed up, very, very screwed up. But this kind of fills in the centerpiece of like what the hell happened with Noir and how Z wrapped up in all this, and we get that story. Very entertaining. So
I wonder, is this how Noir sees things?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like he sees these things, but he knows that it's just weird. And I'm not quite sure what the diner has, but I didn't quite get that. Like I was pretty dense on that. Like why this location is particularly.
So it's like it's called Bucky Beavers. It's like a Chuck E. Cheese, and I guess like this is something he was really into as a child, because like you get the impression that obviously that Noir maybe has some brain damage, and so maybe he thinks about things in very simplistic ways. Like, so I started thinking, when he's out here doing all these killings, does he see this in like a, well, no, I guess he doesn't, because they mentioned the whole thing about we were here to help you through that one bad situation. So again, wait a minute, maybe he sees the world as a cartoon when he's carrying out all of these like killings and the like. And maybe that makes it a little bit easier for him. I don't know.
Yeah, he definitely has. Well, this is obviously like these superheroes, and who God knows what happens to their minds. You know, like there's that whole layer too that we probably won't get into too much, but like because we've been allowed access into Homelander's mind and his perspective, his mind's eye, and everything there. He has his like coping mechanism, I guess, I don't know, or his survival mechanism, and this is Noir's. So it's no wonder that I am very, very curious on the power band of these superheroes, like because in the comic book, Noir is like a clone of Homelander.
Yeah.
That's not the case here, obviously, but you know, like what the power band is for Noir, because apparently again, I thought he was dead, you know, coming back in like with the peanut allergy, because I think Maeve or no, was it Lamplighter, who I can't remember, who somebody shoved a peanut bar and whatever in his mouth, and like basically made it to where he wasn't going to get up, and he didn't. He looked like he was going to be dead, but we'll see. But anyway, the point being, Noir was a pivotal key player in getting Soldier Boy and getting him wrapped up and taken care of, put him on ice, so to speak.
Right.
So so essentially he has this whole back and forth with himself, get himself pumped up or whatever, and then he basically psychs himself up to like going and being more proactive instead of just slinking around in the shadows, like moping his eventual demise or potential demise because of how he was very much complicit in this. And I don't want to give away too much because like we're still rolling through this, but like, what are your thoughts on him as a character? Because we hadn't seen him in quite some time, and it really shook. I also wanted to say it also shook the hell out of Homelander when Noir just kind of split and left.
This is the most character development we've gotten from Noir. He's a very strange character.
Yes.
He's this character that's kind of there, that's up until now has basically kind of been sort of a background comedy relief character.
Yeah, just kind of like these cardboard cutout kind of part of the team. You don't really know, like they're really haven't. Honestly, this is probably the most exposition we've ever seen ever. from him, period.
And we
But they
don't
wrote it
actually see him do anything. We just kind of see this sort of scenario, this story that's playing out in his mind that is animated. So it was an interesting choice. It was very artistic. I'm not 100% sure. There's part of it that it didn't feel like The Boys. This episode almost kind of felt in many ways like it was a different show. There were elements of it that didn't feel like quintessential Amazon Prime Boys, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just that, okay, that was an interesting choice. It was kind of in the vein of the musical number they did a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, that was interesting. I always like wonder when they do that on shows. It's just an interesting artistic choice. But
yeah,
it's still, but that's kind of how Kamiko. I would have thought it was really out of place, but apparently Kamiko has this just a very innocent, childlike fascination for musicals and for song and dance, and how she wants to see the world internally, I guess. I don't know, very, very, very. So it makes sense after you understand that. But it's interesting how they've told these character stories and not just the regular boring. They have originality for sure. I don't think I've ever seen an origin story, or not origin story, but a how it was told. It was good. I enjoyed it for sure. But you're right. This is very kind of, I guess that kind of goes with the feeling of the episode in general too. I mentioned that the energy is way different. But yeah, that kind of feels like we're going in a different direction now.
The show showed that it had a little bit of kind of depth to it. It's got some artistry in there, between the blood and guts and various orifices and everything.
Yeah, they don't pull. They showed it all last one, and now this is a little bit more kind of.
They actually pulled punches in this episode.
Oh, where do you think that happened?
The recreation in Noir's mind about how things went down in Nicaragua. They did that animated. They could have done that in live action, it would have been like the kind of typical gory sort of spectacle we expect from the brutality we expect from this series, but they went in a different direction with it.
They did. They went to a very artistic way to show the ultimate betrayal of Soldier Boy and how Noir basically these characters create their own enemies. At least what I'm talking about is Soldier Boy, and essentially now you're having a and I'm really surprised that they didn't have a backup plan on how to bag up Homelander. Because what's not a big surprise here, but and of course if you're watching this, you're not really concerned about spoilers, but we find out that Edgar is definitely was back then and pulling the strings. I'm just surprised that of course they still could. I'm just surprised that Homeland or Vought doesn't have a coherent plan to bag up Homelander in general. Just kind of seems like that's not I mean they haven't said that it doesn't exist for sure, but I find it hard to believe that that's some kind of plan B or C for these nut job superheroes just going off the deep end. They got to have some kind of plan. But
I just said, Edgar is not dead.
No, he's not. He is not made an appearance. It's kind of been big chunks of time before we see main parts of the main storyline reemerge.
They've also got Temp V.
They do. Yes. About that Temp V and about Huey. We talked about the Temp V twins, one of them with Huey. And Huey comes through for Butcher. And we find out that Butcher is it's interesting. But anyway, yeah, so Starlight does find out about the Temp V. And there's a lid. There's a very final lid on the use of this miracle drug, for sure.
Right.
That we find. I'm trying to find a good picture here.
Yeah. And we also got to see kind of some backstory for. There was a lot of backstory in this. We had see some backstory for Billy when
Yes,
he
we did.
was kind of mentally charmed by Mindstorm. And honestly, I don't feel like I needed Billy's backstory, to be honest. I didn't hate it or anything, but it was probably, I'd actually forgotten about it until I saw the picture. So it was my least favorite kind of part of this episode.
Yeah, I kind of just took it in stride. I just
Yeah.
kind of took it with the whole episode in general. It's being just more, just going in a different direction, just having a lot less of it. Lost a lot of the energy. And to be honest with you, I agree because we already knew we already kind of knew he had a fucked up backstory anyway. Right. We already knew that. Like they brought, I want to say, I can't remember, but I think he played in. It doesn't matter. My memory's poor, and I'm not going to pull it up anyway. Not relevant to the conversation, but yeah, it was just interesting. We basically see how it's really not Billy the butcher, it's Billy the bastard. We see how he's just such an insufferable bastard.
Yeah.
I guess in this mental thing. But anyway, Huey does save the day. He's fighting against Soldier Boy, and he's kind of poo-pooing Soldier Boy at every step and saying, man, you're paranoid, like you got PTSD, you got this, you got that. And it turns out no. Nope. Soldier Boy definitely has been in this fight before. Essentially, this is kind of, in a way, this is kind of like how they brought him down the first time.
Yeah, this is like a retelling, kind of like a retelling, or like it's very similar to the way that Soldier Boy was taken down in the 80s. What they're trying to do here, which is they're trying to take down
Homelander.
And it's weird that knowing that it's weird that Soldier Boy would be a part of this.
It is. It's and it gets even weirder. It gets even weirder with Soldier Boy too, as we kind of roll through the episode.
Yeah.
But this all they did a good job of tying everything in. I guess like when I was thinking about it, I was like, duh. Of course she's gonna see the notepad on the
yeah.
with Temp V, but that makes sense because she's stealing doses of that and also getting Compound V to heal, to give Kimiko back her powers, because she's begged and pleaded with Starlight to do that for her. And of course, she's no longer essentially she's no longer Starlight. She is Annie January, or whatever the hell her name is. Her character name is.
I'm guessing Costco must have paid for some product placement here.
I wondered about that.
Because they didn't just show the bottle, they called it Kirkland's signature, I think. So
they did. They called it out. Like that's
clearly
a Costco brand.
I think that's weird. Costco advertising on an Amazon product.
You know, I think little conspiracy tinfoil hat here. I got to think that Amazon has not been afraid to put themselves in this at all. They've done that a couple times pointedly, like where you're like, oh, they had some kind of interaction or something, like where it's implied that it's Amazon to the viewer. They break the fourth wall a little bit, or whatever the hell that's called. But this is like, I wonder.
What, that Vought is Amazon, or?
I think that Amazon planned this so that they would have more than one kind of product, more than one kind of major company product placement. And although Costco and Amazon, yeah, they kind of compete, but they don't. Not really. Not in the same way. Not in the same way. Yes, overall, yes, they're competitors, but not like AWS and Microsoft Azure are direct competitors. No.
You would never see the Giants here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's an inside joke, everybody.
Yeah, that was from a galaxy, far long ago in a far away place, or whatever.
Those were the days. But yeah, because if you remember, there was also a couple episodes ago they specifically mention and show White Claw. So yeah, there's definitely some advertising going on.
I forgot about that. That's true. Anyway, they nobody likes ads, but the way they do it is funny and enduring. It's I can't think of the word. It escapes me, but it's very positive, I guess. If you're gonna see something in this anyway, but yeah.
Right.
So they have that. We also find out that Kamiko's never ever gotten drunk, or had alcohol, essentially something like that, until now. And she magically heals anyway after she gets her powers back and all that. And I don't know. Like I think they're playing with us. I think this is kind of going to nip the bud for any more storyline with Kamiko and Frenchie. And as far as I'm concerned, that's okay by me.
Yeah, I don't know
But,
what else they do with these characters. The actors are likable. They're good in their roles, but these characters are kind of more and more distant from the primary. Basically, since they've gotten back from Russia, they have been very distant from the plot.
Yeah, they're very very much on their own little subplot, I guess, until now, and then it's going to wrap back around. But I just can't help but think, and of course, Kamiko is like a veteran of all this stuff because she helped Maeve and Starlight take down Stormfront.
Right.
So she definitely has to be part of this somehow. But I don't know. Like I think they're gonna put put the Kamiko Frenchie romance in the parking lot for a while.
It seemed like that. It seemed like that. Which it's like, why even bring it up if you're not gonna commit to it, unless it's gonna be one of those he said she said things, or like will they won't they type things. But
I don't
even
know.
then,
Maybe
like,
I don't get that feeling at all. But
this
then
show
again,
doesn't do romance well.
no, I agree. We both agree on that for sure. Like it feels more forced than anything else, and it's fine. It's fine. It's all fine, but it definitely kind of pulls you out of the thing. And to be honest with you, and I don't have any inside information, but my gut tells me that one of these two is going to die.
Yeah,
Like that's the feeling I get. It's just a matter of time before is it is it Frenchie, is it Kamiko? Because not everybody's going to return in season 4. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm way wrong. But in any case, that's the feeling I've always get like with these lesser characters. Huey, we have justification for Huey to make it to the very end. We have justification for Butcher, but MM or obviously with Soldier Boy is important, so they're not going to kill him off. But Frenchie and Kamiko, I don't know. I think one of them is going to not make it.
I think MM is going to finally give in, and he's going to do Temp V.
You think so?
I think there will be a point where he finally does it, and I don't know how to play up to that. I don't know what goes on, but I feel like of the kind of two characters we have now who don't have powers, I feel like he's most likely to take Temp V.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would have handled his storyline. I like definitely the character that's grown on me the most this season has probably been MM, for sure. And like he had his own kind of storyline, kind of sewed up a little bit, and he is a psycho stepdad who puts his kid in jeopardy, and is like rightfully MM is like really. Like I can't believe you did that, and I wish they would have handled that a little bit smoother, but it just pushes him, I guess, away more. But from his, I don't know, but we'll see what happens with that storyline.
Right?
But what was your thinking? Do you think that do you have any kind of feelings one way or another if like one of these lesser characters is going to be kind of put on the altar and sacrificed?
I'm kind of surprised it didn't happen this season. I kind of felt like we were leading up to that this season, and it ended up not happening. So maybe it happens next episode, but I feel like by the time we get through the 4th season, it has to have happened if they're going to, but maybe they don't want to diverge from the comic books like that.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, comic books are completely different at this stage. They are not alike. They're not alike. But in any case,
I would guess there have been some changes about how they were going to do things from season 1. Like if they thought about what they were going to do with characters, I'm certain there have been changes. They've seen how people have reacted to the characters. They've come up with different ideas. So who knows? I think not being sure, it's like you would assume yes, but you don't really know. Because we've already had a couple of situations where we presumed that a character was going to die and it did not happen. So maybe the writers like leaving you guessing, and that's in the ethos of the show.
Yeah, well, they definitely know how to write for sure. I'll give them that. I'll give them that. They keep you guessing. That's the beauty of the show. You think one thing's going to happen? No. Like, and as we've gone on here, we've discovered a little bit more of the backstory with Soldier Boy and Homelander and Noir, Black Noir, and even Butcher too. But essentially, I don't know what do we have left to cover. I don't want
Okay,
to.
so we got the argument between Huey and Starlight.
Yeah, they broke up.
They broke up.
Yeah,
I never was
I'm like,
invested in that relationship, to be quite honest.
yeah, like I think you put you put money on the billhead for sure. This show does not do romance. It's just not in the cards. Not in the cards. But we kind of see this role reversal for Starlight Huey. Of course, Huey's high and drunk on this Temp V as a original founding member of the Temp V twins.
And we know that now, obviously, that Temp V has it has a price, and the devil could be coming due very soon for both Butcher and Huey.
Yep, and like I said, like I mentioned, Billy the Bastard. It's really Billy the Bastard, not Billy the Butcher, in this episode, because Huey comes back and saves Butcher
yeah.
at great risk to his own life. I mean, Huey was like, "I don't care. This is what I'm doing," and he did it. Whereas, Butcher, that favor is not returned.
No,
That's disappointing. But I guess that kind of goes with the character, I guess.
that's what type of character he is. Well, I guess depending on what you're into, there is one instance where the show does some romance, and that's with the Deep.
Yeah, there's no
And,
pictures of the Deep because I already scrolled through the carousel here. But yeah, we find out the Deep is finally finds his authentic self. Like,
yes.
because it's kind of peppered out throughout his storyline of him doing these little bullshit, kind of comeback storylines and doing book deals and
Right.
the contrition march, or whatever you want to call it, the comeback march. And like we see that he is now back to his original self, I guess.
Yes.
For lack of a better term.
You know what I think they're going to do next season with Deep and Cassandra? I think they're going to do Johnny Depp, Amber Heard.
Oh,
I feel like
perfect. God, that would be perfect.
I feel like they would do that.
That would be perfect. That would be so damn perfect. That would be so perfect. Yeah. And what do you remember what the octopus's name was?
Ambrosius.
Yeah. I saw that. I don't know about you, but like when I saw that scene, man, I was right there with Cassandra. I was like, F this, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I was like, no. That was very visceral, very I wonder what the CGI budget was, and I wonder how what the breakdown was. They kind of hinted at the CGI budget. They kind of broke the budget like with the Herogasm episode for obvious reasons, with a big floating non-Jewish member floating around.
Right. But yeah, so like you said, the Deep is back where he was at the beginning of the series. Like the writers did something effective. I think they made a significant portion of the audience over the last 2 seasons kind of feel bad for the Deep. Only
I'd say
be like, no, this guy deserves what he's getting.
Right. No, and it's just like A-Train. It's just like these guys are assholes to the core. And like
that's the point. These are terrible people to the core. There is no redemption for them.
Yeah, they are undoubtedly, in every way, shape, and form, every one of these characters that has had superpowers is an unmitigated menace to civilization. They are kind of like how I guess in their world, I mean, they kind of sort of, well, they haven't said nuclear or We don't know if this is a nuclear power world or not. I presume they are. But their nukes, in truth, are humans that have superpowers like that.
Right.
Essentially, those are their nuclear weapon is something that we can control, both in and out. But they're literally walking nuclear bombs, ready to go off at the drop of a hat. And essentially, that's the terror that we are in this world. That psyche sphere that they kind of touch on they never ever stray away from it. Every episode they have some kind of something that snaps you right back to the main thrust of the movie, which is like whether Billy Butcher is justified or not in his actions. Like that's kind of the subtext. But we find out that there's some begetting going on too. I don't know if we're close to that point or not, or if you want to cover it.
Are we talking about the big one?
Yeah, the big one. Or how far away are we from the big one?
We've done the other items.
Okay, so we're there.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah, we're there. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think of the without revealing too much or hat tipping too much? Unless you just want to cover it, I'm down.
So I actually, I am a reader of Are the Boys. Shout out to Are the Boys on Reddit. And someone said like a couple of weeks ago, like, wouldn't it be funny if it turned out that Homelander was like that this relationship was there, that we might as well say it, like
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Homelander is the son, the child, or it's implied that Homelander is the child of Soldier Boy. So Soldier Boy tells you he cranked it into a jar and there was a baby boy born.
Yeah, right on time. Right, he was always the thing, and the messed up thing is that he kind of says like, well, hell, I would have been okay with like letting you take over one day or whatever, but it kind of puts everything. It completely changes this vengeance quest that Soldier Boy is back on. It's kind of not really, but kind of it's along the storylines of World Breaker Hulk, when basically we won't go through the whole storyline, but basically Hulk was sent away from Earth because he's a disaster even among superheroes in the Marvel universe. But eventually he comes back, and when he comes back, he's not happy, and he reacts just like that. But until kind of it very eerily echoes that storyline in the comic books, and I wonder if it'll follow suit with it, just for kind of finding a storyline and a common thread. But yeah, the Homelander is stunned. We're stunned. The only one who's not stunned is Soldier Boy.
Yeah,
but it makes sense. So
where did Soldier Boy? Did he know this all this whole time? Because like it seemed like this came out of nowhere.
I think I'm missing it, but like I kind of feel like there was a scene or part like where there was some whispering going on, but I don't recall that it was ever with Soldier Boy. And I think we're kind of understanding that Soldier Boy is putting it together and figuring out who Homelander is. It's kind of implied with that, I guess. But in any case, I wonder if this will change the ultimate dynamic for that, because I mean, so what is Soldier Boy going to kill Edgar? I mean, is he going to keep going after the teammates that betrayed him? I think so. But
I think Noir is the only one left.
Yeah, Noir, Edgar, Lamplighter's dead, or as that's implied, and then it's just all the new suits. So. Queen Maeve wasn't around back then, was she? No, she wasn't.
She wasn't. No, because so I think they don't give I don't remember them giving a 100% storyline, but the impression is that Homelander was probably born in the 80s. Like Homelander came, so Homelander didn't come on the scene until the 90s.
Right. Yeah, probably like late 90s, probably more than likely. Maybe we'll see. He could have started when he was a teenager, probably more than likely. But
I would assume that he came in around maybe around 9/11. They call him the Homelander. So I wonder if that's not the impression we're supposed to get.
yeah, more than likely. Yeah, it's very interesting. But this kind of sets up that I don't think it changes things too much, but it definitely kind of sets up, I don't know, sets up a line like where uh, I don't know that Soldier Boy is going to be. Who knows? Who knows? Like, I don't know.
This was always a gamble, and now it's looking like it's not gonna pay off. They've went through great effort and suffering to bring Soldier Boy back, and they really may have just created a worse problem.
Right. Well, and we also the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking for Butcher and for Huey, and for probably, I don't know. They haven't talked about any downside to Kimiko getting her powers back, but I'm pretty sure there's a price. There's a price to pay in all this. Who knows? But I don't know. But definitely Butcher has got. I don't know. I don't know if you kept count or not, but I want to say he's like at 3 or 4 doses.
Yeah, I think he's on 3rd dose. I think Huey's on 2nd dose.
Yeah, I want to say, like, I'd have to go back, and that'll be maybe I'll do that and go back and want to rewatch and be like, all right, how many? It's being a nerd. But yeah, clock's ticking, and that kind of sews up where we're at with this one.
Yeah.
I did enjoy this one. I'm gonna be sad to see it go, and I don't know. We'll see how we feel. But did you ever keep watching Diabolical at all? The
I've skipped
animated
around
series.
the episodes. Like, it's not I feel like it's something you would watch to be a completionist, but like it doesn't necessarily have the feel of the show, and it's kind of all non-canon, so it's completely and totally optional.
Okay.
There's one episode I think people should watch. It's called "I'm Your Pusher," and it's animated by the people who do Invincible, the Invincible animated adaptation, and it's actually directly taken from a boys comic issue. So the character designs and everything are like the comic. There are some characters that exist in this episode that don't exist in the television series. So I think that's an episode everyone should watch just to kind of get an idea of how tonally and sort of on both the superficial and a fundamental level, the animated or the original comic and the live action series differ from one another.
Indeed. I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I'll watch an episode or two to see if but it could be in a week or it could be in 6 months.
It's absolutely, it's something I recommend that people check out, but it's absolutely not a necessity. It's a completely and totally non-canon sort of side story thing for like super fans who just have to consume everything.
I feel like my next step would be to go to the comics after this one, after the season, and to see if there's play there for me. But in any case, debuts tomorrow night, Friday morning at midnight, depending upon where you're at. I think it's East Coast time too, so it might be.
Yeah, I think
I
it
wanna
might
say I
be
saw
East Coast time.
Yeah, so about 11 o'clock our time. Of course, we're in the.
Or they may possibly drop it early, like on Thursday night. So I think they did that one time after the week after an episode had been very late in showing up.
Yeah, I didn't keep track of like when they came out, but like I definitely want to rewatch, and I'm definitely going to rewatch it sooner than later. And then when we wrap this up, then we have some thoughts on how we want to take our next thing to do. But in that vein, like we ask you that you, if you like what you see, please share. That helps us out greatly. And if you like what you see and you want to see more, please let us know. But anything else to add this week?
No, like you said, this was just kind of like a little bit of a wind down. So I assume that it's going to get wound back up next episode. So buckle up.
Yeah, I hope so. Indeed. And with that, I've been Mike.
I'm Justin.
We'll see you next time.
Peace.